So in a previous movie, I showed you how you can use the site Can I Use to find out which HTML5 features are supported in which browsers. And that's a very important thing to do when you're making decisions about how you're going to build your project. But sometimes you want to check those things at runtime. And that's where a library called Modernizer is really useful. It allows you to, at runtime, check to see if a certain feature is supported. And if it's not, you can provide some type of fallback feature. And this is known as progressive enhancement. So if you go to modernizer.com, you can download either the development version of Modernizer, and it's just a JavaScript file, or a production build. And this allows you to configure which features you want to include. So if I click on that, I can actually select just the features that I want to test for, and it's obviously going to create a much smaller file. But while you're doing development, you can just get the development version, which includes everything, and it's actually uncompressed. So if I click on that, we can see it just opens here in Chrome. And what I want to do is to save this file. So I'm just going to hit Command S, and I'm just going to save it to the desktop. And I'm just going to remove the version number here. So it's just going to be modernizer.js. So when we're finished, you should now have that modernizer.js saved on your desktop. So now back in Sublime Text, I've again just recreated our default HTML5 template here, saved it as demo.html on the desktop. So what I want to do now is at the top here is to include that Modernizer JavaScript file. So again, I'm going to type script and hit tab, provide a source attribute here, and I'm going to load that in. So modernizer.js. So now anywhere in my JavaScript code in my project, let's say I want to use a specific HTML5 feature, I can first make sure that it is actually supported. So the way in which Modernizer works is that script essentially creates a top-level Modernizer object. And on that object, there's a sequence of Boolean properties telling me whether certain features are supported or not. So for instance, modernizer.canvas. And what I can do is to say if modernizer.canvas, I can log out to the console, console.log, canvas is supported. So I'll go over to Chrome and refresh. And let me go to the console. And we can see Canvas is supported. Now, if you want to get a good idea of all the available properties that you have to work with, you can basically just log out the Modernizer object itself to the console. Go back, refresh, and now I can look inside of that and look at all of the available properties that I can check. So you can see we have all these properties for CSS features, drag and drop, all of the things that are supported from the Modernizer API, which again, if you went to production build here, you can actually choose which features you actually want to check for, and that will make the production JavaScript file as small as possible. But again, it's really important to be able to test for these features at runtime so that for people that don't have modern browsers, you can provide some type of decent fallback experience for them.